probably for as little as around $200, and then you can go up into $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. Just depends on how big you want to get.
Now I know I have a very small yard. Something like this wouldn't work in it, but how about some of the gardens you have back here? I mean, would one of these work better in a small yard?
Well, this is a planter that's been made for water, out of water gardening plants, marginals, plants that will grow with the crown of the plant underwater. So this is a low maintenance planter where you can plant this, fill this up with water, put it on a deck, a patio, porch, someplace where you get sunlight, and this will grow with very, very little maintenance. A little fertilizer and water maybe once every 2-3 weeks, and it's going to do fine.
Is this papyrus right here?
That's a dwarf papyrus. We've got a ruby creeper here. This is a celery plant, a variegated celery plant. And this is society garlic, and this plant here will send blooms up, pinkish lavender blooms all summer long.
So these are actually water-loving plants, and this is just showing us an easy way to make a low-maintenance garden container then.
And this looks just like a whiskey barrel that a lot of people use as planters?
Yes, that's a whiskey barrel with a liner in it. We've cut a piece of oak, a half moon there to attach to the top. We've got a plumbed statuary, what we commonly call spitter, spitting into the water.
This guy right here.
Yes. And we're just recirculating the water from the bottom of the tub and through the pump and up through the fountain.
This has all the components of the larger garden you showed us with the filter and the pump. And
yes. We use plants in here also to filter the water and keep it smelling good, fresh, and clean. And then you can add different types of plants. If you wish to, you can put one of your grandfather's old pitcher pumps, plumb that, and it continues, so you get great sound, the enjoyment of water gardening, but you can do it in a very, very small, inexpensive way.
Now, if I wanted to spend a lot of money and put this into my backyard, is there anything special I would need? Do I need a pond liner, or do I just go ahead and dig a pit?
Now, in some cases, if you have the right type of soil, blue clay, you can dig one and not put a liner in it, but that's not the norm in this part of the country. So you'd want to test the soil, and if you're putting in a large pond, don't have blue clay, you can buy rubber liner, polyethylene liner. There's a number of different liners that are fish safe. You want to make sure that they're fish safe if you're going to put fish in, and you definitely would probably want to. Dig your hole, buy your liner large enough, put an underlayment to help protect that liner, and put it in.
And tell us about some of the products that you brought here with you.
Oh, we've got an in-pond filter. This is for that small backyard, maybe a pre-formed pond that you just want to get started with, and all it is some foam. The water's pulled through this to take out there again the particles, the leaves, seed pods, and then filter media down in here to where bacteria there again can grow. Because if you have fish waste becomes toxic in the water after a period of time if it gets high enough level. So you need a place for extra bacteria. What we created is we've got a large pond or lake. Naturally, we have a very few fish per gallons of water. Where I fish particularly, it's one fish per million gallons.
Makes it challenging.
You're right. But in a small backyard pond, you might have a fish per every 3 gallons or 5 gallons.
Is that where all the ammonia comes from that people talk about?
Yes, fish waste is primarily ammonia. So nature uses bacteria to break that fish waste down. Well, that's what we want to use. We want a place for extra bacteria to grow because we have such a high concentration of fish in our pond.
And what are we going to do in the winter once we have this pond that's so nice in the spring and the summer and fall? Real quickly, how do you take care of it in the winter?
Well, generally we want 24-inch deep water because the temperature acclimates to about 38, 40 degrees, comfortable for fish. Keep a hole in the ice or periodically get a hole in the ice, preferably not with a sledgehammer, but with some warm water or a heater preferably, so that gases can escape out of the pond. And that's really pretty much it. Quick feeding your fish. No, their metabolism slows down, and if they ingest food and it sits there because their metabolism slows down, they won't digest it. You can actually do damage to your fish. So from 50 degrees, water temperature 50 degrees, until it comes up above 50 degrees, don't feed your fish. Enjoy them.
Wow. So, I mean, it's really not a lot of maintenance then to have it over the winter. You really can have it in this climate, and it's not that hard to take care of.
Yeah, a lot of people will bring their fish indoors, but it's not necessary. You can leave them outdoors, and really with a minimal amount of effort, winter your fish over, they do fine outside.
And you were talking about you have to clean the filter, once a week or once a day, depending on the size. Is this what we're talking about? You have to take this out and replace it? Or?
This is a mechanical filter. It's someplace for particles, seed pods, leaves, twigs, anything that's suspended in the water. As it goes through this filter mat, it'll catch in here. You want to take that out and rinse it off. However, these pieces with a lot of surface area are places for bacteria to grow. We really only want to clean these, if possible, only once a year. Now, if you get sludge or some dirt on there, you may want to clean it, but you want to be very careful when you're cleaning it. Use pond water. do it quickly, because a biological filter takes 30 to 45 days to really come full cycle. So if you're constantly cleaning it, you're killing that bacteria, and you don't want to do that, because that's nature's way of filtering out that fish waste.
Itself. Well, thank you so much for being with us. I thought we couldn't have water gardens like this in northeastern Ohio, but you've shown us how we can, and we appreciate you coming on, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
I've enjoyed being here. Thank you.
I love these little quotes that we have,
Aren't
Maureen.
they
There's
wonderful?
one about great ideas come after days in the garden. And it's true. It's a time when you just relax. And it's amazing when you're relaxed and not thinking about anything,
All
the
those
wonderful
ideas
thoughts
come
that
in
you
your
have.
head.
Right.
Yeah.
And what a wonderful segment this was. I love water gardens. Right now I have a wonderful, it's not a big garden, it's a wonderful fountain. It looks kind of like one of those, they say it came from Italy, that used to be on the street sides. It's like a faucet and a spigot, and the water just
sure.
kind of goes down into a basin. They say that people used to dampen their handkerchiefs in that and kind of wipe their brows, cool their
That's
brows
what you do
with
in
it.
your backyard.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
when I've gone across that huge Geist estate out there, you know, and I've kind of squired out there for a while, going the 60 feet wide that the estate is, or whatever it is. So we will hope that you right now will go to your telephone, though, because you'll have this wonderful tape with all of this information about water gardening and all of the other things that we've been presenting to you today. It's made possible by the current members of WVIZ and needs to be supported by new members just like you. So if you're watching right now, we'd like you to make your pledge gift at this very moment. If you're a new member, call and make that pledge. If you're a current member, consider an additional gift. If you've let your membership lapse, rejoin the station right now. Or if you've never made a member, you're the one we're really looking for to join the family of members here at WVIZ PBS. People that have moved from just being involved in the program, and you're already involved because you're watching, but you've moved to becoming committed to supporting quality programming here in the northeastern Ohio community. And when you do, we have some great thank you gifts to send you.
And we're suggesting several pledge amounts today, Kent.
We are.
We're suggesting $60 or $90 or $180, but you can really pledge any amount that works for you. But if you pledge at these levels or more, here are some special thank you gifts that are available to you. For $60, you see on the screen that Gardener's Guide for Northeast Ohio. It's a, how many pages does this have?
Well,
have we even said? It's like 100. It's like 130 pages here, but that's
it's not complete, right? All the questions and answers aren't in it yet.
When you get it, it's actually going to be bigger than the one we're looking at here, because we are in the process of completing it as we speak. It's a vinyl covered book with it's a loose leaf book, so you could add more items to it, and it's available to you once again at $60 or more if you pledge to WVIZ PBS right now.
Right, and if you go and pledge at the $90 level, we have another unique thank you gift that's not available anywhere but right here at WVIZ PBS, and that's the home video of the very program that you're watching right now. Tomorrow, when the program is over, our production team is going to get together and assemble just the gardening segments, all the experts that have been on this 4-hour show once the time it's finished, into a special tape for you. And there'll also be special ways of indexing this tape, so it'll make it easy for you to get to the segments that are of most interest to you at that point. That will come to you at the $90 level. Or if you'd rather at the $90 level, we have a book that Maureen has in her hand right now, the Cleveland Garden Handbook.
Oh, the Cleveland Garden Handbook has and let me look at the chapters, because it has a lot of information that is very different from what comes in the Cleveland Gardener's Guide for Northeast Ohio. Why can't I get that?
Right.
It has understanding our natural resources, so it gives you sort of some basic tips on climate and soil, and then solving common problems about dealing with clay. Clay is, of course, something we have to deal with on a daily basis in Northeast Ohio when it comes to our gardening.
Right.
Lawn care, what to do about your lawn, and that's something that we're really not addressing on the videotape,
No,
so this
not.
is something different. Then how to improve your landscape, about flower bulbs and wildflowers or daylilies. It goes on to a landscape calendar for Greater Cleveland. When do you plant? Landscape professionals and suppliers, a whole section on resources, which is something that we sometimes don't know where to go for certain kinds of things. Horticultural organizations, and then garden education, information, and events that are going on in Northeast Ohio. This is a really valuable resource.
If I were sitting home watching the program, I'm not sure which one I would choose from, because
So
they're also
don't.
So don't is exactly it. Go to the $180 pledge level, and we will be happy to say thank you for that considerable gift to WVIZ PBS by sending you the complete collection, the Gardener's Guide to Northeastern Ohio Handbook, that was made up of all those wonderful questions and answers and tips and articles, the videotape of the program that you're watching today, and also the Cleveland Garden Handbook. The whole thing will come your way as our way of saying thank you for your $180 pledge of support. And as Maureen pointed out earlier, it breaks down to only $15 a month, breaks down to only $2-3 a week. How much you pay for your newspaper, basically, and we will bring you all of this quality into your home for an entire year, because you're not buying videos, you're not buying books. What you're doing actually is giving WVIZ PBS the ability to continue providing you with the kinds of programs that you enjoy, and we know that the Victory Garden has been a staple in your home for years and years and years, and it will be here for years to come. But we also know that you need some information occasionally about our good old hometown, wherever you live across northeastern Ohio. The information being presented today is just for you. As a matter of fact, we have another question about northeastern Ohio gardening from one of our friends out at the Home and Garden show. Let's find out more about that.
Hi, I'm Heather and this is Rachel from Akron. A friend of mine used butter on the leaves of her plants to keep them shiny.